Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Laura Train Mama. Today we are having a look at something slightly different. It is the 2009 Thomas and Friends Annual. So what we're going to do is we are going to skim through the whole annual today. There are several stories inside, which I will upload separately to give them the airtime they deserve. But let's dive in. What is inside the Thomas and Friends Annual for 2009? Over on the left is the contents page and over on the right, hello, I'm Thomas. I like being really useful and so do all my friends. Read about our very busy year. Thomas and his friends. Hello, I'm Sir Topham Hatt, but everyone calls me the Fat Controller. Here's a song about my really useful engines. Will you sing it with us? The next couple of pages are the lyrics for Thomas and his friends. Now join in with the song again. When you see a picture, sing the number and colour words. We're really useful. Mr. Percival is in charge of the narrow gauge railway. The engines call him the Thin Controller. Welcome to my railway. Fearless Freddy is very proud of his shiny brass dome. Here I come. Hard-working Peter Sam is always happy and cheerful. Do you have a job for me, sir? Strong Mighty Mac is two engines in one. Mighty at one end and Mac at the other. Let's push together. Stubborn Duncan thinks he works too hard. Can't you ask another engine to do this job? Two big cranes work at Brenham Docks. Bad-tempered Cranky loads and unloads ships and trains. Don't rush me. Gentle Giant Rocky wants to be everyone's friend. I help the engines when they're in trouble. Madge and Rosie are really useful too. The Thin Controller can always rely on Madge. The green and white snub-nosed lorry. Slow and safe, that's me. Tomboy Rosie is a tank engine who has purple paintwork and lots of freckles. I love working with Thomas. Story time. Ding-a-ling. Fearless Freddy. Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. Clever Freddy found the perfect bell for the Thin Controller's new bicycle. He made the old bell as good as new. Here there is a colouring and drawing opportunity. You can draw over the lines on the opposite page to copy his picture. Then colour him in. Once you finish your creation, you can write your name down at the bottom. Story time. Thomas sets sail. Spot the difference. When Thomas goes to Brenham Docks, he always says hello to Salty, the dockside diesel, who shunts trains. These two pictures of Salty and Thomas look the same, but there are 5 things that are different in picture 2. Can you spot them all? You may choose to pause the video and see from home. How many differences can you see? Can you find them all? Shall I give you the answers just in case you're playing at home? The answers are Salty's teeth and buffer, Thomas's porthole, and the ship's funnel are missing, and the ship's side has changed colour. If you got those at home, well done. Story time. Percy and the left luggage. Hurry, Percy! Percy has to get to Mathwaite Station to collect Dowager Hat's luggage. Can you show him the quickest way through the maze? Happy Thomas. Thomas is a happy little engine who has a smile on his face most of the time. Draw a happy face on Thomas like the one below, then colour in your picture. Now, over on the right, draw more faces on Thomas. Copy these or draw your own. How is Thomas feeling in these pictures? This is something you could even try at home if you want to. Story time. Thomas and the Runaway Car. The Runaway Car Quiz. Read a story. Now you know what happened in the story, or you will when I upload it. You can read it yourself. The little pictures will help you. When you see the pictures of Thomas and his friends, say their names. Engine names and numbers. Thomas and his friends have numbers as well as names. Colour in the right number for each engine. Look back through the book if you need help. This is an activity that you could even try at home. Story time. Toby's triumph. Messy Toby. Toby was so busy worrying about his very important passenger that he made some mistakes, didn't he? He got very messy. Toby went down an old branch line and was covered in wet leaves. Draw and colour in lots of leaves on Toby. When Toby raced through the big puddle, he was covered in brown mud. Draw and colour in splashes of mud on Toby. Story time. Cool truckings. Counting fun. Phew! The engines are all glad to get back to the sheds after a hard day's work. They need rest. How many engines can you see in the picture? Count them, then trace over the correct number below. You could even do this at home by pausing the video. Over on the right hand side, you can see what the Thomas and Friends magazine looked like back in 2009. That brings us to the end of the skim through of the Thomas and Friends annual for 2009. Which pages did you like? Let me know in the comments. As I mentioned at the start, there are stories that were contained there which I didn't read today, but I will upload those separately. Why do I do that? Well, it just means that if you have really enjoyed one of the stories, you haven't got to be going back through minutes and minutes of this video to get back to where the story was. If I upload it separately, you can watch it again and again at your leisure. I hope that makes sense. If you did enjoy listening today, please check that you are subscribed if you want to hear future things like this, and have a great day.